Hey everyone, my name's Ash. I'm an independent game developer currently working on a game called Viral Reload EX. I get a lot of questions from my friends and family about what exactly it is I do every day, so I thought today we could take a deep dive into one of the processes that goes into making a game. Viral Reload EX is a vertically scrolling shoot 'em up, kind of like Galaga, where each wave of enemies is randomly chosen. Playing as the main characters Bimmy and Octo, you alternate between shrinking into the bodies of sick patients to cure them of disease, and chasing after the dastardly villain Kyle Kaboom. Throughout Viral Reload, the gameplay is interrupted with cutscenes, which are short, comic book-like segments that advance the story. Today, I'd like to go in depth into the process of writing and drawing these cutscenes. The cutscenes start in a text editor, where I write a draft of the dialogue for the scenes. I don't worry too much about the specific dialogue at this point. The important thing is that the major story beats get set in stone. Afterwards, I meet with the artist Kaya, and we start the storyboarding process. I copy over the rough dialogue and draw rough sketches of how each scene will look. Then, Kaya draws significantly better sketches that actually look like the characters. For some reason, I have a tendency to draw Bimmy like a dog. Now that we're done storyboarding, I'm gonna pass the mic to Kaya and let them explain their drawing process.
As we trust the process with my very messy sketching, let me just say I've been having a ton of fun drawing the cutscenes and helping design the characters for this game, and Bimmy by far is one of my favorites. I tend to go ham on his expressions because I want to make him a very lively and even somewhat relatable protagonist. He isn't afraid to show a wide range of emotions, from joy to fear to bewilderment to anger. Bimmy's personality, design, and overall art style take a lot of inspiration from simplified yet expressive and big-eyed styles from cartoons, anime, and video games popular around the 90s and early 2000s. Mega Man is one example. Each piece of cutscene art is drawn with a lot of bounciness and energy, staying close to Ashton's rough sketch thumbnails, while also adding my drawing style's cartoony flair, and keeping it simple to the best of my ability. And with that, I want to say it's been a joy watching the art, characters, and overall game come to life. And with that, I pass this back to Ash.
Now, these drawings are great, but unfortunately, once we take them into the game, they look like this. See, my game has a resolution of 144 pixels by 192 pixels, and the actual area available for showing artwork is a tiny 144 by 144 square. That means I need to redraw this artwork at a resolution that looks good in the game. So, it's now my job to color and quote-unquote ink the drawings, kind of like you would in a comic book, but using pixel art. I use a program called Pixsquare to draw pixel art on the go, and while it supports time-lapse exports, it doesn't actually show the reference layer that I'm using, so I'll overlay that here. When I'm inking a larger piece like this, I like to use colored outlines, as it helps to distinguish where one section of a character ends and begins. You can also see me mixing lighter colors into the line art here, which is a technique known as anti-aliasing. This helps to smooth out the lines and imply a higher resolution than is actually available. The biggest challenge with this inking process is trying to be faithful to the original artwork at this resolution. Sometimes I have to exaggerate certain lines or curves, and sometimes details get lost due to the resolution. I want to do justice to these drawings, but when every pixel counts, I have to be mindful of where I'm placing them. It doesn't matter so much for a piece like this, where the character takes up such a large part of the image, but for other pieces, like this one of Bimmy and Octo searching through Kyle Kaboom's secret lair, I spent a lot of time working on Bimmy's face to try and get his expression right. Small changes in pixel placement give wildly different expressions. As I move on to the other poses for Bimmy, I erase all the sections of him that I need to redraw, but try to keep as much as I can. We're on a tight budget here, so any way I can save time without detracting from the quality of the art helps. If you're wondering about Bimmy's odd hair color, it's a result of the limited tools we originally concepted him in. The software we used to draw the original concept art was made mostly for business meetings, and so had a limited color palette. I jokingly used the green highlighter on his hair, and we pretty quickly fell in love with the look. At the end here, I start fleshing out the interior of Bimy's ship, adding a few screens and a ledge of some kind on the left here. I imagine this to be a tape deck or maybe CD player, and eventually I might draw some tapes or CDs stacked on top of it. It might be a little bit anachronistic, but I like the idea that we'll still be using physical media in 2063. Now that the art is finished, we only have one thing left to do. Load it into the game and hook it up to the dialogue. I'm gonna gloss over this part as it's a bit out of scope for this video, but thankfully there's a mostly finished cutscene just waiting for one of these panels to be dropped into. Since this cutscene is close to being finished, all I have to do is put the new art in place of the placeholder we have here, and then run the game to make sure nothing has gone wrong. And voila! That's one piece of art for one cutscene done. I hope you enjoyed this look into what I actually do as a game developer. Maybe in the future I'll go into further depth on how the cutscenes work on the programming side of things, but I thought for now this is a good start. So thank you everyone for watching this video. Go wishlist and play the Viral Reload EX demo on PC right now and check out how the game actually looks in action. If you want to keep following the development, subscribe and follow me and the artist on Instagram, both linked below and on screen. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Viral Reload EX.